Fox News hosts Sean Hannity and Ainsley Earhardt are dating are true.
The American dream, in my view, is very much at stake.
Sean Hannity made a big change by leaving New York, the city where he built his career. The well-known conservative surprised many when he moved to Florida, a place he calls the Free State. It wasn't a quick decision. It came after a lot of talk and rumors about what was really going on. People wondered if he had been forced to leave like other Fox News hosts. Tune in to find out if the reason for his move was political or not. Real estate and rumors. People couldn't stop talking about it. Rumors flew around like wildfire. Was Hannity forced out like Tucker Carlson? Did he have some beef with the network? Was there something else going on behind the scenes? Nobody knew for sure, but everyone had their theories. Turns out, the real reason wasn't what most people guessed. The longtime broadcaster, who's always been pretty upfront about his opinions, spilled the details on his radio show, and when the truth finally came to light, it left everyone stunned in a way they never saw coming. At the start of the year, he made it official. He was done with New York and ready to enjoy life in Florida. Why? He called it the Free State of Florida, and that sums up his main reason. He liked the state's political vibe. With Governor Ron DeSantis, Senator Rick Scott, and Senator Marco Rubio running things, it felt more in line with his conservative values. New York, where he had worked for years, wasn't cutting it anymore. The well-known pundit already owned a place in Palm Beach. It's just a short drive from Miami and even closer to former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. But here's where things got tricky. Palm Beach has some tough rules about businesses operating out of homes. Even Rush Limbaugh had to rent a commercial space when he wanted to broadcast from his estate. So the Fox News figure couldn't legally run his show from his Palm Beach home. That didn't stop him though. He just found a workaround. This relocation wasn't spontaneous. He'd been planning it for a while. Back in the year 2021, he bought a townhouse in Palm Beach for over $5 million. At first, it was just a vacation spot, but by the year 2023, he made the call to leave New York for good. Apparently, the townhouse wasn't enough space for his liking. Fast forward a few months, and he bought a massive waterfront mansion in Manalapan for a whopping $23.5 million. Talk about an upgrade. This new place is a sight to see. It sits on almost 2 acres and has about 12,000 square feet of living space. Built in the year 1990, the mansion boasts 8 bedrooms and more than 10 bathrooms. Perfect for someone who loves entertaining. And since it's Florida, of course, there's a pool, a dock, and stunning views of both the Atlantic Ocean and the Intracoastal Waterway. The place even has a rooftop terrace where the conservative host can kick back and enjoy the view. Inside, it's all about luxury. A bar for hosting friends, a cozy fireplace, and even an elevator to get around the multi-level home. Photos from when the house was listed show a modern kitchen with plenty of space and storage. Almost every room has a view of the water, making it feel like a constant vacation. Local real estate agents noted that while the house was in good shape, some buyers might tear it down and start fresh. But the media figure seemed more than happy with it as is. Earlier this year, he also sold his Long Island home. The property, sitting on nearly 6 acres, went for over $12 million in cash. This sale wasn't a sudden decision either. The veteran host had been preparing for this big lifestyle change for a while. It's clear he wanted to leave behind New York's political climate and settle somewhere that matched his beliefs. The outspoken commentator's career didn't start with glitzy mansions and multi-million-dollar deals. Back in the year 1982, he was just a guy running a house painting business. Later, he worked as a building contractor in California. His radio career kicked off in 1989 with a talk show at a college station in Santa Barbara. It didn't last long. He got canceled after less than a year due to some heated discussions about gay and lesbian rights. But he didn't let that stop him. He used the experience to market himself as a controversial voice in radio. By the early 1990s, the future Fox star landed a gig at WVNN in Alabama and later moved to a bigger market in Atlanta. Then came his big break in 1996 when Roger Ailes brought him to Fox News. His show, originally co-hosted with Alan Colmes, became a hit. Eventually, he took over the time slot solo, and the rest is history. Over the years, he built a loyal following with his conservative commentary, but it wasn't all smooth sailing. The polarizing personality faced plenty of criticism. He's been called out for promoting conspiracy theories and for being too close to former President Trump. The New York Times and the Washington Post have both run stories questioning his journalistic integrity. Despite this, he kept his audience. Even when other Fox News stars were let go, he stayed put. His success isn't just about television and radio. The media mogul has also done well in real estate. By the year 2018, he reportedly owned over 800 properties across the country. These weren't just luxury homes. Many were in working-class neighborhoods. Some reports criticized his management style, claiming his team had a high eviction rate. But the broadcaster stayed quiet about the details, focusing instead on his media career. Despite speculation about his future at Fox News, the television veteran remains one of their biggest names. When Tucker Carlson left, many thought the outspoken host might take over the primetime slot. Instead, Fox gave the spot to Jesse Waters, sparking rumors that his time at the network might be winding down. As Hannity settled into Florida, a new debate about media and opinions pulled him back into the spotlight. Fact versus opinion in modern media. Ted Koppel putting together a big report for CBS's Sunday Morning about how the media world has turned into a wild mix of opinions. He pulled Sean Hannity into the discussion, and things got messy fast. Hannity was not happy about how Koppel made him look, saying the whole thing was edited unfairly. What aired caused drama everywhere, and people quickly took sides. Koppel's story wasn't subtle. He pointed at the growth of media focused on opinions and named big personalities like Hannity as part of the problem. Hannity, of course, fired back, saying the media is trying to ruin him and the president. Koppel didn't hold back either, claiming shows like Hannity's mix up facts with opinions and confuse people. It was not a friendly debate. Let's take a step back to see how this all started. Koppel's story showed how, after the fairness rule ended, talk radio with strong views became very popular. First, you had people like Rush Limbaugh stirring things up, and then cable TV followed. Add social media to that, and suddenly, people could choose only the information they liked. Koppel's big point was that once people believe something, even if it's wrong, they stick with it. Hannity did not like being made the example of what's wrong with media. He hit back both on TV and online, saying viewers know the difference between news and opinion. His argument was that sharing opinions doesn't mean he's lying. He said he was just giving his view on the news. What made things even more intense was Hannity asking CBS to show the full, unedited interview. He wanted people to see everything, not just the parts CBS decided to air. Whether he felt misrepresented or thought the full interview would make him look better, nobody knows. Still, Koppel's team refused and said editing was needed to tell the story well. Now here's where it gets interesting. Koppel's complaint wasn't only about Hannity, it was about how media had changed. He said mixing facts with strong opinions in shows like Hannity's blurred the line between real news and commentary. This was a big accusation. Koppel basically said that opinion shows care more about pushing ideas than telling the truth. Hannity, of course, responded with his own view. He pointed out that opinion shows are not pretending to be neutral news. They're about sharing views, analysis, and yes, opinions. To Hannity, Koppel's old way of just stating facts without any added thoughts seemed outdated. Hannity believed people deserved to hear different sides and make up their minds. This fight highlighted a bigger issue: the role of media in shaping what people think. Koppel seemed to want a time when news was just news, with no spin or bias. On the other hand, Hannity's side argued that expecting total neutrality is unrealistic. People want context, opinions, and voices that match their own views. Social media played a big part in making things worse. Hannity went on Twitter and turned the criticism into a rallying cry. His posts were typical Hannity: strong, defensive, and aimed at his supporters. He framed Koppel's story as proof of media bias against conservatives, which only made his base more loyal.
Koppel's point was clear. He saw shows that focused on opinions as part of a problem, dividing people by focusing more on beliefs than facts. But Hannity had a valid argument too. Media isn't just about facts anymore. It's also about giving meaning, context, and yes, debate. People don't just want to know what happened, they want to understand why it matters. This wasn't just a fight between two media figures. It showed a bigger change in how people get and understand news. Opinion-based media has been around for a while and doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Whether you agree with Koppel's push for neutral reporting or Hannity's defense of opinion journalism, it's clear the media world has changed forever. Both sides made their points, and viewers had to decide who had the better argument. Koppel wanted to warn people about what he saw as a risky trend in media, while Hannity saw it as another attack on conservative voices. Whether it was about fairness, bias, or how media works now, this wasn't just a personal argument. It was a spotlight on how news is changing in a time when everyone can share their views online. In the end, this wasn't really about who was right. It was about two very different ideas of what media should be. Koppel believed in old-style journalism, where facts are most important and opinions come second. Hannity embraced a newer way, where facts and opinions mix, giving viewers both information and perspective. This fight didn't fix anything, but it got people talking, and that discussion isn't over yet. The big question is, what do people really want from their news? Just plain facts or something deeper? Whatever the answer, the line between news and opinion isn't just blurred anymore. It's almost gone. Here's something else to consider. This isn't the first time opinion journalism has been criticized. It's been going on for decades, maybe longer. Before TV, newspapers often had clear biases. They openly supported political parties and didn't hide their opinions. Nobody back then expected total neutrality. It was only after TV news became popular, with anchors like Edward Murrow and Walter Cronkite, that the idea of objective reporting became the goal. Even then, objectivity didn't mean reporters had no opinions. News anchors gave context, asked hard questions, and explained events. They didn't just repeat what politicians said. The goal was to help people understand what was happening and why it mattered. That's what journalism is supposed to do. Not just tell you what happened, but help you make sense of it. Fast forward to today, and things look very different. Cable channels have 24-hour news cycles, and social media rewards strong opinions and controversy. Opinion journalism thrives because it keeps people interested and engaged. It's not just about sharing news, it's about keeping viewers watching and clicking. This brings us back to Hannity and Koppel. They represent two different times and styles of journalism. Koppel comes from a time when news was simple, and the goal was to keep opinions out of it. Hannity represents today's style, where facts and opinions are mixed to give viewers more than just information. Neither approach is perfect. Koppel's way can seem boring and out of touch with what excites people. Hannity's way can make it hard to know what is fact and what is opinion. Both have strengths and weaknesses, and both show the bigger tensions in media today. It's important to note that this isn't just a problem for one political side. Opinion journalism exists everywhere, from conservative networks to progressive websites. People naturally go toward voices that match what they already believe, and media companies give them what they want. This cycle repeats itself, making it harder for people to hear ideas that challenge what they think. While media argued over facts and views, Hannity's rise from humble beginnings to media fame stood out. Controversy and success. Sean Patrick Hannity's story kicks off in New York City, where he was born in late December of 1961. From a young age, he grew up in Franklin Square on Long Island, the only boy in a family of 4 kids. His parents, Lillian and Hugh, were both hardworking folks with roots in Ireland. Lillian balanced a job as a stenographer and later worked as a corrections officer at the local jail, while Hugh was a veteran from World War II and later got into family court work. As a kid, the future broadcaster was always hustling. He had jobs like delivering newspapers for big names such as the New York Daily News and Long Island Daily Press. He started his education at Sacred Heart Seminary in Hempstead, then switched to St. Pius X Preparatory Seminary in Uniondale for high school. College wasn't exactly his thing. He enrolled at both New York University and Adelphi University, but he didn't stick around long enough to finish a degree. Fast forward to the early 1980s, the aspiring media personality made his way to sunny Santa Barbara, California. He first ran a house painting business before getting into construction work. But his big break came in 1989 when he landed a volunteer gig at KCSB-FM, the University of California, Santa Barbara's college radio station. His show stirred the pot, especially when he touched on topics like gay and lesbian rights. This led to some backlash, and less than a year later, the station pulled the plug on him. After KCSB, the determined host wasn't about to give up. He took out an ad in radio magazines calling himself the most talked about college radio host in America. This gutsy move got him hired at WVNN in Athens, Alabama, where he hosted an afternoon talk show. By 1992, he moved up to WGST in Atlanta, taking over a spot left by well-known radio personality Neil Bortz. The rising conservative commentator's real breakthrough began in 1996 when Fox News co-founder Roger Ailes brought him on board to co-host a television show with Alan Colmes. The show, Hannity and Colmes, had a simple format. The newly appointed co-host played the conservative voice, while Colmes represented the liberal side. It aired in October 1996 and ran for over a decade before Colmes left in 2009. The political commentator didn't miss a beat. He took over the slot with his own show, Hannity, which still airs on Fox News today. Over the years, the media figure became a pretty divisive character. He's known for sticking to his conservative beliefs and supporting Republican leaders. Critics have called him out for promoting wild theories, like the infamous birther claims about President Obama's birthplace. He's also faced heat for pushing stories about Hillary Clinton's health and making unproven claims about election fraud in 2020. The outspoken host didn't just talk about politics, he got involved. He was one of the first major media figures to back Donald Trump during his 2016 campaign. While Trump was in office, the commentator stayed close to the action, often chatting with White House officials. Some insiders even nicknamed him the Shadow Chief of Staff because of his influence. Radio was always a big part of the broadcaster's career. His show, The Sean Hannity Show, started getting broadcast across the country in September 2001. By March 2018, it was pulling in over 13 million listeners each week, making it one of the top talk radio programs in the United States. The media personality's work didn't go unnoticed. He snagged the Marconi Award twice for Network Syndicated Personality of the Year, first in 2003 and again in 2007. In 2009, Talkers magazine ranked him number 2 on their list of the 100 most important radio hosts in America. By 2017, he earned a spot in the National Radio Hall of Fame. Aside from his broadcasting gigs, the conservative host has also written a bunch of books. His titles include Let Freedom Ring, Deliver Us from Evil, Conservative Victory, and Live Free or Die. These works echo the themes he covers on his shows: freedom, conservatism, and his take on current events. On the personal side, the talk show host was married to journalist Jill Rhodes for nearly 3 decades before they split in 2020. They share 2 kids. By December 2024, he was ready to settle down again. He announced his engagement to Ainsley Earhardt, co-host of Fox and Friends, after dating her for about 5 years. When it comes to media influence, the prominent commentator is a heavyweight in the conservative space. Forbes highlighted his reach back in 2018, noting how he became a top host in both cable news and talk radio. His close ties to Trump played a big role in boosting his profile, giving him access that few other media personalities enjoyed. During his career, the well-known host has also dipped into philanthropy. He has supported causes such as military families and children's education. He has been involved in events and organizations that focus on helping veterans and their loved ones. His charitable efforts often reflect his patriotism and conservative values. His influence stretches beyond just television and radio. The commentator has made appearances at political rallies, lending his voice and support to causes and candidates he believes in. This public presence has helped cement his status as more than just a media figure. He is a key player in conservative politics. In addition to his shows and books, the broadcaster has also engaged in public speaking. He has toured the country, giving speeches on political issues, American values, and the importance of conservatism. These events have drawn large crowds, showing the level of support he commands among his audience. The radio personality's ability to connect with listeners and viewers has been a major factor in his success. His style, which blends opinion with facts, appeals to a wide range of people who share his views. This connection has allowed him to build a loyal following over the years. Despite criticism, the Fox News anchor has remained steadfast in his approach.
he continues to be a prominent voice in media, using his platform to advocate for his beliefs. Whether through his radio show, television program, or written works, the commentator stays true to his message of conservatism and American values. Throughout the years, the high-profile host has weathered various controversies. From disputes with political opponents to backlash over his commentary, he has faced challenges but has always managed to maintain his position in the media landscape. His resilience and determination have played a significant role in his enduring career. As the Fox News anchor influences public opinion, is he standing firm on his beliefs or just being stubborn? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more content.